So, yeah, welcome everybody. We'll start the session. I would specifically request our task force members to come up front so that people who are already signed up in the task force. And thanks others for joining to come and learn about our task force. This is exciting stuff. Now, where is Mrutur? Oh, can we call him? Okay. So, so thanks for joining. We're going to, share with you something exciting that we've been doing for the last few months in terms of putting together a task force for IoT for smart cities. You've all heard about the Smart Cities Challenge, and we thought we'll get together and try to do something meaningful for that initiative in the country. And I would invite some of the key members of the task. There are many members from the task force here, but some of the key members from the task force, I would invite them to come join me up front here. So Dilip Paruchuri, he is the kind of the seed of this idea. He is from Intel, and he's also part of the take a seat IEEE IoT SIG, and take a seat, Dilip. So he initiated this through a conference, IEEE IoT SIG conference on use cases for smart cities, and that kind of set the ball rolling. And Arvind Tiwari from TIE, and he along with Venki. Yeah, I know Venki. Right. So Venki, you want to come up front? Yeah. You got a 10 out of, and a seat for you. So they had the other conference on IoT for smart cities, IoT Next conference, and that idea gained momentum in that event. And Bipin here, Bipin Kamra, who's come up front, please. He's he's from Smart Gaia. What Gaia Smart Cities? Gaia Smart Cities. So he's also been on the M2M, M2M group, working group in TSDSI, and now he's driving the ICT for Smart Cities Forum for DOT. So he called upon us at CCICI to do the cloud computing part, but then we kind of took over the whole thing, right? Or we joined hands on that. And Manjunath Hebbar is here on behalf of NASSCOM. They have the IoT task force going on. We can pull chairs in as we run out of chairs. And finally, we went. We wanted this stamp of this aura of being the technical brains here. So we went to Professor Bharadwaj, who is the CTO of the Robert Bosch Center at Indian Institute of Science, and he is kind of the flag bearer for this task force. So please come and join us here. What we have, we are really, we feel that, we've all spent all this time in technology, and there is this smart city challenge going on in the nation. How can we contribute, right? Well, how can we meaningfully enable this? And that's the spirit that brought us all together. So we are an open forum bringing academia, government, industry, and people from professional bodies together to do something meaningful and purposeful to enable and accelerate the Smart Cities Challenge. So that's really our objective. How does this work?
Yeah, we had trouble in the morning too.
Huh?
It worked.
Oh, it worked. Okay, I went in the wrong direction. Okay. Oh, okay. So as you're all aware, the Smart City Challenge, which was launched by which has been launched by the Ministry of Urban Development, recently they announced the top 20 cities which will be getting funding to initiate this activity. No, I'm fine. I'm better off standing. I'm okay. So you see there. I mean, this is the vision. What the smart cities we want them to look like, right? And MOUD has been working. The MOUD has come up with this vision. They have a whole framework around it, which they are driving. The DOT, within the DOT, the TSDSI has been talking about standards around different aspects of this through their M2M initiative. And the TEC group formulated the ICT for Smart City Forum, which has also done a curtain raiser document and has a certain perspective on how they want to approach it. And The Bureau of Indian Standards has the panel for IoT and the panel for smart infrastructure, which are looking at standardization, developing national standards on various aspects which impinge into the smart city space. During these conferences, DAITY, the IoT for smart city group within DAITY approached us, and we have kind of taken that mandate and then gone and connected with everybody who's playing in this field to see, instead of everyone in every government organization doing something different, can we come together and do something jointly? So that's really.
Does anybody know what the full form of DAITY is and DOTA and all that? You all know?
Okay, DAITY is Department of Electronics and IT, and DOT is Department of Telecommunication.
TSDSI is the Telecom Standards Development Society of India. So all these tongue-twisting names, but yes.
Oh, it takes me to the wrong way. Okay, now I got it. Okay, so Bipin, you want to take us through the next phase of stuff here?
Yeah, so when you all know that 20 cities have been announced, right? Yeah. It's a small enough. Can you hear me on the back?
Yeah.
You all know that 20 smart cities have been announced. And these 20 smart cities have to go through a round of proposal submission, which says pretty much what they want to do. And that the key elements of a smart city, two key elements. One is something called the area-based development, in which the city is supposed to submit a plan for an area that they choose. It has to be a contiguous area. I mean, for example, in a place like Bangalore, it can be this airport road, old airport road area, or Whitefield or whatever. So that choice is up to the city that's submitting the proposal. And the other is, and you can do whatever you want in that particular area. So one area, so you can easily replicate it to the others. So that is one, the area-based solution. The other is something called the pan-city solution. A pan-city solution is take one solution like solid waste or transportation or smart cards or governance services, and take that across the entire city. So those are the two key elements of a smart city plan. So when we analyzed what these 20 cities that finally won the first round wanted, so this is what we came up with. So 5 cities have said that their primary requirement is ICT, and all this, by the way, I forgot to mention, is all of them have to have an ICT component. Without ICT, the plans are not even accepted, right? So ICT, IoT, interchangeable, but it had to have that as a fundamental requirement. So when we checked 5 cities of the 20, 5 cities wanted transport and transit, also to do with the management of traffic, and the government, G2C is government to citizen services, or the delivery of services, delivery of government to citizen services. So 5 cities wanted that. 4 cities wanted city operations and waste management. In Bangalore, we all know how critical waste is. Yes, so it's called municipal solid waste, MSW, and the tons per day runs into a couple of thousands of tons, 11,000 tons is the average. And then you had 3 cities that wanted traffic monitoring, water management, and then surveillance, public safety, which is your CCTV and your other things that are running around that. And then disaster management. Chennai and Coimbatore actually are the ones that were mostly affected by the recent disaster management. Flood is Chennai and Coimbatore. 2 cities wanted mobility. I don't know what mobility actually means, but I'm assuming it is to do with walkability and mixed use of land. They want to promote that. And all these other citizen engagement, property tax, livability, parking, connectivity, healthcare. At least one city had all of this. So this is what you would expect solutions that people are bringing to be broadly classified under. The next phase, you will have DPRs, or what are called detailed project reports, being submitted on all of these. If you need to talking about verticalization of solutions, it's pretty much in all of these. The first column obviously is the name of the city. The middle column is the cost estimate of the projects that each of them have submitted. And you all know the government is giving each city 100 crores for 5 years, which is 500 crores. So if you minus that, then that is the percentage of money, that's 88% of the money in case of Bhubaneswar, that they have to raise by themselves. Either there's an SPV that will come, so either the SPV by virtue of some money from the state or as part of various other PPP initiatives or from industry. That's the percentage of money that they got to raise. Which means there is a significant amount of work that industry will have to put in from their side, justifying the case for the solutions that they're putting in, or justifying a business case. So this is for you to just glance through and understand how all this impacts the overall solutions that you're putting together.
So just a question on this.
Yeah.
Because I don't know the answer.
Yeah.
Let's take the case of Bhopal, right? Bhopal is just, they already have 48% funding. Because they only are layout.
Over 5 years, it will become,
they just need 1,000.
Yes.
They get 500. So really they just got to raise 500 crores.
that's correct.
Over
Over
smart,
5 years.
Assuming that the original estimate is correct.
No, but they're smart. They're putting a small layout. They're not showing the huge amount. Suppose they have higher chance of succeeding.
Also, they would have focused on
Yeah, so
supplemental.
that's it.
Yeah, but let's not forget one thing. I think I always keep playing devil's advocate here, right? Because I've seen the last 2 years we've kind of put up test clusters, right? And to get 15% equity from the private sector, I'm finding it a challenge myself. Now I'm questioning. That's the kind of number that you see from private sector. I'm really questioning this.
No, actually, there's a difference, right?
I
No,
think we
it's
can
not
come back to
Let's-
that.
let's-
Let's finish
Yeah. So
the.
let's move to the next.
So we'll,
So we have discussed this a
So
lot.
this session is all about we just kind of wanting to give a proposal to DIT, and DIT wants us to. I think Pamela must have mentioned, right, the
No, she's
objective.
coming to that, she's coming
Coming
to
to that.
that.
Okay,
Yeah.
I don't steal the thunder again from Pamela.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Pamela. Let it come from you, okay? I give you the background. Yeah.
That doesn't mean you overtake the whole conversation.
It's learning from you.
That's the fun of an open forum. It's good to, we call it the Sagar Manthan, you know. We like opposing opinions and we like the debate and discussion, and then the Amrit will come out of it.
Good.
Right?
Good.
So
And
that's
the saga we will throw.
So we have 15 minutes.
okay. So obviously, you know, there are a bunch of challenges when we, in our discussion, this has come out of our discussion, that what is happening in these whole proposals that are being put, all these consultants, MNCs, they're used to smart city Barcelona, smart city Madrid, smart city New York, whatever, and they are taking those solutions and trying to force fit them into India. Doesn't work, right? So, what is it? This thing is moving. Technology is moving at a very fast pace. Our government does not know how to take emerging technology and build RFPs so that as technology improves, we can bring in the new technology points. They are used to having a mature, well beaten up technology, commoditized, and then putting out an RFP. So we need to think about that differently, right? So inappropriate, what is it? Inappropriate last mile solutions, right? So the last mile, there has always been a problem. The decision makers have very little technology know-how. They don't know how to, think through understanding where technology, what are the possibilities of technology. Okay, then standards are not there. The solutions that are being proposed are obviously the vendors want to have vendor lock-in. Now to contradict that, to how to influence them to do open solutions, right? That's a whole different paradigm of operating. And then there are examples of failure because of these. We have had certain examples like the Nirbhaya. Somebody can elaborate on the Nirbhaya tender and LED lighting issue.
So only one.
So Nirbhaya tender was this emergency response